How's it going, fellas? This is CrashTesterTed. On this video, I'm going to be outlining how to build your character up to being overpowered from the start in Morrowind, and from there, how to get training and have the most efficient leveling you can every time you level. I'm going to take this step by step here, right on the ship at the start. Now, I will say, this build is not reliant on any race or any powers. This is reliant namely on the way you pick your skills and the way you set up your class at the start. You're going to be building a custom class, and that's how this is going to work. So out of personal preference here, I'm going to pick a Nord. Again, not due to any race. I'm just going to pick a Nord just because. Now, when you're picking your class and picking your skills, this is the most important part of the game. This is where many people have made a mistake and basically ruined their game from the start. They've severed the thread of fate before they've even got started leaving the census office. So, typically in Morrowind, you would pick a race and you would pick a specialization to boost your skills, and so you could start with higher major and higher minor skills from the start. If you want to have the highest level you can possibly get, this is wrong. You don't want to do this at the start. So, OP build. So, to start with, you're going to want to pick major and minor skills that receive no bonus from your race. And you're going to pick a specialization that gives no bonus to your major and minor skills. Today I'm going to go with a magic specialization, and with that I'm going to pick no magic skills for my major and minor. Favorite attributes are going to be strength and intelligence to start with the maximum amount of health, and also to get the maximum amount of health with every level up. Everything else doesn't scale on level, it scales on stat. So early on you want to start with the most endurance and the most strength so you can start with the most health. Now, the reason why you want to start with the lowest major and minor skills is your major and minor skills factor into your level ups. You can achieve a maximum level of 78.5 with 30 in all major skills and 15 in all minor skills from the start. So today we're going to be picking, let's see here, acrobatics, light armor, spear. Spear and short blade are key because I'm going to be using those two weapons exclusively in this, at least at the start. Once you get past the start, how I'm instructing you to do this, with the training you're going to be able to afford, you can build what you want to, but the start is very important for being able to fund the kind of build you want to do. So, now, speedcraft is perfect. Now for minor skills, I'm going to pick security, I'm going to pick hand-to-hand, I'm going to pick sneak, perfect, marksman, and I'm going to pick armorer. There you are. Very good. Now, okay.
Very good. The letter that preceded, you mentioned you were born under a certain sign. And what would that be?
Now, the sign you pick can be up to personal preference. I prefer using the astronaut because that 50% spell absorption, it's hard to get in the game. It's very useful whether you're a mage or a warrior. You're going to be absorbing spells whether you're trying to swing a sword or a spell. So, I prefer this, and the stun and magicka I feel is very easy to get around. And as a Nord with no magicka benefit, you start with, you can finish out with 300 magicka at 100 intelligence. That's crazy. You can cast spells as a warrior with that, so.
Interesting. Now, before I stamp these papers, make sure this information is correct.
So now you can see here, I have 30 in all major skills besides the spears, and I have 15 in all minor skills, just total. Now, spears, having 35 in one is fine. You'll still reach level 78. The 78.5, you could go past 78 if you read skill books whenever all your skills are maxed at a 100. That can put you up to 79 and further. There's other ways to do this, but this is just the way to get to the max level without other exploits or methods. So that looks good. So that'll get me to 78.
Show your papers to the captain when you exit to get your release fee.
Now, in Satanin, especially in the census office, there's going to be plenty of things you can take to get funded. One thing people all know about, typically, is the lamware platter. It's not required for this, but you can take it regardless. The key to do that is pick it up and drop it, and then they'll try to scold you for it, and then you can pick it back up. It's not required, but it's extra money, so we're going to do that right now.
To the next building and talk to Celisgravius.
So now that you've taken as much as you can from the census office, one next important step is you're going to want to go over to this barrel and take the ring out of here. It belongs to Fargoth. Once you return his ring, he'll give you a discount at the trade house because he knows the person running the trade house here in Satanin. Hello, Fargoth. Take your ring. Andy, now we have a discount at the trade house. Hello. So let's go ahead and get rid of everything I have. So now that you've sold off everything that you have stolen from the census office, you're going to want a few key things. You're going to iron a halberd. You're going to want every Sudama bottle he has on him. And you're going to want this, let's see here, Scroll of Drathis Winter Guest. You're going to buy 2 of those. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to walk up to the Silt Strider Rider. You're going to take him over to Balmora.
Why walk?
Now, once you're in Balmora, to the left of the Silt Strider where you get off, there are a set of buildings. Once you walk around on your right, there will be 2 signs over here, 2 buildings next to each other. There's going to be the Mages and the Fighters Guild. Walk into the Fighters Guild, join them, get the equipment out of the chest that they give you, and then you're going to want to go into the Mages Guild and join them as well, and do the same thing. Join, sign me up. Very good. Bye.
What makes this smell? So what do you want?
Take all. While you're here, trade with Wayne. I should have some extra money. Let's see here. You're going to want to buy his Dwemer Jinx sword. Let's sell him these hammers. Very good. And let's sell off these bolts and arrows. Now we're going to go into here. We're going to join the Mages Guild. Don't even read the oath. Garbage. Take all. Now you're going to come downstairs and use the teleport service to go over to Aldrune, and they've got another chest there as well that you can loot. Now we're going to head back to the teleport service and take it over to Caldera. Now if you start going down the hill, once you leave the Mages Guild, on the way down the second hill, there will be a big building on the right. This is Gorak Manor. Inside Gorak Manor is a scamp. He's an imp-looking guy named Creeper. He will give you the most money for anything you sell, as long as he has items for sale in that type. So you're going to get rid of these soul gems, you're going to get rid of these fortify willpower, these cheap restore healths, and every bit of restore magicka potion that you get from them. Go ahead and sell them off. That'll give you some starting money to use. Let's see here. Oh, he'll also buy these Danines Peninsula. Those aren't even useful. So that'll give you 1,560 gold, and you're going to need all that money. You won't buy anything else from me. So now we're going to go back to the Mages Guild here in Caldera, and we're going to head over to the Aldrune Mages Guild and buy a few things. Now I'm going to wait here for just a second to get rid of my fatigue loss. Fantastic. Hello. Now from her you need to buy, you're going to need some Divine Intervention Scrolls, and you're going to need Scroll of Mark, Scroll of League Step to get Mark and Recall. You're going to need more of those later, or the spells once you can cast them. But for now, those will help. Let's see here. Yeah, that should all do right now.
You dare betray the clan?
Hush. Now we're heading back to Balmora now that we have more cash in our pocket as well as those scrolls. Once you're outside, you're going to want to turn left. You're going to want to visit Revere's. He has a Devil Spear you're going to want to buy. Let's see here. Yep, Devil Spear. What this is useful for is you can summon a Bound Spear. That is a Daedric Spear that has no weight, and it will stay with you for 60 seconds to be able to fight. I'm trading my Iron Halberd in for it. Needed the Iron Halberd, and in case I had to fight someone. So now, start some money. Very good. What you want to do next is you're going to want to take the Silt Rider over to Vivek. Now that you're in Vivek, you're going to turn left from the Silt Strider. You're going to want to cross this bridge, and over there off to the right is a ferryman that will take you around the cantons of Vivek. You're going to want to go to the Halalu canton, and then you'll want to go to the Temple canton. Now that you are in the Temple canton, you're going to want to go up to where those two buildings are above you. There is a priestess in between those two buildings. You're going to want to buy a bargain potion of levitation. I believe it's called Bargain Rising Force. Here we are. Now with that potion, you're going to come around back. There is a shrine. You will donate that potion that you just bought to get a levitation benefit. There we go. Now we're going to come back down to the ferryman and go back to Halalu and go back to the foreign quarter. There we go. Now that you're back in foreign quarter, you're going to want to head northeast back over to where you got off at the Silt Strider. And then start heading straight east. Your destination is going to be across this big piece of land here to the next bigger, rather smaller piece of land. There's an island right beside that to the east. I'll show you when we get there. Now, you'll know you're in the right place when you head east past these Dwemer ruins. You can see that I've headed east straight from Vivek Foreign Quarter over to here. Mazak ruins? I believe that's how you pronounce that. So anyway, just east of those ruins is a mud crab on a small island. This mud crab is not an ordinary mud crab. He is a merchant. He will buy some items from you, namely weapons and armor, for the absolute most value they are worth. So now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use this Scroll of Mark that you bought in Aldrune. Now that you use that scroll, you're going to want to use Almsevere Intervention. This will take you to Malagmar. In Malagmar, there is a single Ordinator on top of the canton. So now what you're going to want to do, quick save in case this doesn't go right the first time for you. You're going to want to cast, here, let's see here. You're going to want Hot Bind your Sujama to one key using F1 and then binding it to the 1 through 9 keys. I bind Sujama to 4. I'm going to bind my Dwemer Jinx Sword that I bought from Wayne to 3. And then whenever I get my Devil Spear cast, I'm going to bind the Bound Spear that comes out of it to 1. So now, my Devil Spear is out. You're able to take down the Ordinator with either the Spear, or if you need to, you can use the Dwemer Jinx Sword. So, Nords have high strength and they have a decent amount of agility. Some races may need the Dwemer Jinx Sword. I was able to do it with just the spear this time. So what you're going to want to do, take all of his armor and weapon. You're going to want to go downstairs here in Malagmar into the wasteworks of the Canton. There is a Nordic smith in a central hallway here in this Canton. Now on the other side here. You can go into his bedroom here.
What, Outlander?
And you can rest off the levitate, because you're going to need to get rid of that, and you can get rid of that with a bed. So now my levitate spell is gone. I'm going to use the recall scroll that I bought earlier in Alderun. And now I'll be here at the crab that I marked earlier. So now, once you're at this crab, you can sell off the stuff from the Ordinator. You're going to have to space this out because he can only afford 10,000 gold each time. So, for instance, I'll sell him the Kyrias and the helmet. I'll buy some more Sujama from him. So, once he's out of enough money to be able to buy what you brought him, you're going to want to sleep for 24 hours. Then once you've rested, he'll have another $10,000 for you to barter with. And you'll just repeat this process until you've sold off all of the Ordinator stuff and get your money. The mace will be worth more than he can afford, so what you'll do is you'll sell the mace and then buy back one of the armor pieces you've already sold. So now everything that I got from the Ordinator is all sold. You should end up with over 30,000 coins from doing this. This is very quick. You do this from level 1 with going around just to a couple places risk-free to get the initial cash you need to afford the weapons you need. But from level 1 you can kill an Ordinator. His equipment is worth crazy amount of money, you just have to be able to sell it. This mudcrab can afford every bit of it. So from here, what you can do is you can use another scroll of Almstevia Intervention to get out of here. This I've picked up in the Mages Guild chest whenever I was looting those. You can use Divine Intervention to go over to Cedrith Mora, where you can access another guild teleportation service. So now I'm going to go ahead and head over back to Balmora.
Yes.
So from here, with this setup, you can afford more scrolls. You can whack more Ordinators for more money, and you can use this money to afford training. You can afford better gear. You can build your character how you like, but from the start, your character already has 34,000 gold, basically risk-free. Quick, easy to do. Now, let's see here. The next part of what I want to talk about is I want to go over how to make your character as efficient and overpowered as possible with each level up. What you're going to want to do with that is you're going to want to level up 2 skills 10 times in 2 different attributes. One being endurance-based skills, namely right now I'm going to do Spear. You're going to do this so that you can raise 2 attributes 5 points each level up, as well as luck. You're going to want to max out endurance every level until your endurance is maxed at 100, and then whenever that's maxed, you will gain as much health as possible every level up. No other attribute, not your fatigue, not your magicka, nothing else is based on getting it every level. It's raised as far as your attribute, the higher your attribute goes. Intelligence raises your magicka. Your fatigue is based on your, I believe it's your strength. It's based on your strength, and it's based on your endurance. Willpower as well. Willpower and agility. So there's a lot of things that go into fatigue, but none of them are required on level up. Whereas your health is. You want to max that out as soon as possible. So on the
Quickly,
wiki,
Outlander.
Jesus.
I haven't much time.
On the wiki for Morrowind, you can see a list of various trainers. In Balmora, there's already a trainer for Spear downstairs. No, maybe it's here. Nah, not here. There's a lady downstairs in the Fighters Guild in Balmora that will train you spears. She'll only train you 10 to 15 levels based on how high your spear is. If you started with 30, she'll be able to train you 15 levels. If you started with 35, she'll only be able to train you to 45. So, that being said, what I like to do whenever I'm training up to begin with is I like to do Mercantile and I like to do Spear, or really Mercantile and any other endurance-based skill. The reason why is I try to go for raising endurance for health, as I mentioned, and raising Mercantile will make anything you do cheaper, including your training. So, you started with 34,000, but if all of your training is expensive, you won't be able to afford very much of it. So, as well as the spear trainer that's down here in the Fighters Guild in Balmora.
So what's this for?
Across the river in town to the east, there is the Thieves Guild and the South Wall Corner Club. A gentleman downstairs in the Thieves Guild will train you Mercantile. You can sign up with the Thieves Guild to get a better disposition, discounts on services and training, as well as you can pay off prices in your head for half the price. This gentleman here, Fane Real, he's the one that will train you Mercantile in Balmora. You're going to want to train it 10 times. Now that it's trained 10 times, those 10 skill raises will contribute to 5 points in your personality skill at level up. Then we'll head back over to the Fighters Guild here, right across the river. You're going to want to do your miscellaneous skills that don't raise your level before you do your major or minor skills that do raise your level. Because if you raise your miscellaneous skills after you're set up for leveling up, they won't count towards your attribute raising. You have to do them prior to getting the notification for leveling up. Now, alongside raising your Mercantile skill, you can make skill training cheaper by...
I don't know if I like this.
No, me neither. By raising their disposition, you can do this with Telvanni Buzzmusk to raise your personality, which will raise their disposition with anybody. You can admire them, which is not going to work right now. I believe Mercantile is bribing is based on Mercantile, so you can try to bribe them to get higher disposition. So, see just now, it went up from 49 to 59. If they're not very easy to bribe, you can save and then try until they're up maybe 20 points, or load if it's not working. So now I've bribed her a bit, I can train Spear. So with this, you can see at the bottom where it says you should rest and meditate on what you've learned. This is where your attribute boosts on leveling up are locked in. You can't change them. You must go sleep, and then you can achieve the skill boost on level up. Or attribute boost, sorry. So I can sleep here in the Fighters Guild since I've joined. So on level up, you can see I've got a boost to endurance of 5 and a boost to personality of 5, and I'm going to want to level up. Because no matter what you do, you can only level luck once each level up. You're going to want to do it as soon as possible, because it affects skills. Any skill, accuracy, being hit, a number of things. But it's going to take 60 levels to level luck. But by the time you reach, I believe it's 61, you're going to have max attributes, especially by the time you reach the max capacity of 78, which you're going to be able to do with this build. You're going to have every attribute maxed, you're going to have all of your skills maxed, highest health you can possibly have. And this works with any race, and you can do this with High Elves to be able to have the highest amount of Magicka. You can do this with Bretons to have an easier time of doing it. It doesn't matter. With any race, as long as you build it this kind of way, you'll be able to have the strongest character with the most health. It's fantastic. So, you'll be wanting to train skills up this way. Raise endurance to the max as fast as possible, every skill until it's at 100. That way you get the most health each level up, and then go from there. So, now you don't have to take this to the extremes of raising everything to 100. With this method, you can start off like this and then build a mage. You can start off like this and then build a thief or a warrior. But this is a great way to be overpowered from the start with as little risk as possible. This is easy to do. Anybody can do this. So that's the end of this video. I hope that my Achieving Chim for Switz guide will help you get started in Morrowind and enjoy playing it through as much as I do. If you enjoyed my video, please leave a like and comment on what else helps you getting started in Morrowind, as well as what your favorite ways are to start a new character. Till next time, bye, have a beautiful time!